So yeah, I thought I'll just kind of do this live. Now that I'm getting into this full time uh, astrology role, so I just want to kind of work out my options and see what is happening. So I've been trying to do a lot of YouTube videos, but something is coming up, and I'm not able to fully focus and give my time for that. So I've been trying to find a way, and OBS Studio is kind of trying to help me. It's so new moon in Cancer on 25th of July. So it actually begins tomorrow. So 25th July 2025 is the new moon in Cancer in Pusha Nakshatra. So to start with, Pusha is nakshatra of devotion. So I'm not going to go too much into the nakshatra, but Pusha is the nakshatra of devotion, and Cancer is the sign of nourishment. Cancer is the sign of nourishment, and also there is, because of this Mercury, which is retrograde in Cancer currently, which is the sign of emotion, and Mercury rules rational and logic. So there is this some kind of possibility to have this emotional reset, and it is a very good time to kind of slow down and reflect upon what we were doing at an emotional level, in terms of connecting with others, or also in terms of connecting with our own inner self. I think these are the things that we need to concentrate, and probably just focus a little bit on ourselves, our family, and also the inner self, and try to kind of navigate and find the inner truth that we want to find. This could potentially be a very important lunation in many ways, because one, it's happening in a cardinal sign, and another thing, it is happening in Cancer, and more importantly, Mercury is also retrograde. So this is a fantastic period for self nourishment, and it has to start with having some honest conversations with ourselves. So what we are doing with our life, and where we have come, and what has been our path, and how has been our path. So it's important to acknowledge the at least the nearest past from where we have come from. We have been kind of going through a lot of meat grinder kind of situations. I know things have been slightly bumpy and up and down for a lot of us, and now is a reasonably quiet period of time, because the moon is not necessarily in a hard aspect with any malefic planet. So moon is trining Saturn, as Saturn is placed in Pisces, and Saturn is also retrograde, but not necessarily in hard aspect with Saturn or Mars or the nodes of the moon. So therefore there is this good quiet time for us to kind of have this moment of self reflection. And given that Mercury is retrograde, we need to have some emotional review and also reassessment, and see if we can reorganize our path going forward, wherever course correction is needed. And for especially those who are born between mid of July to mid of August, I think this might be a really interesting period, because the sun is also in Cancer, and it might be a good time for you to kind of take a look at your chart. So for that, I'm obviously available for personal sessions, but overall I think there is a lot of profound learning that is to be done, and this entire conjunction of although it is wide, it's a 12-13 degree wide conjunction between the moon and Mercury. The moon is the emotional mind, and Mercury is the rational mind. So the conjunction of moon and Mercury is basically indicative of the coming together of heart and mind. So what we need or what we want might actually kind of be in terms of practicality, and we will be able to justify it rationally. So both rational aspects and our needs or wants will actually come together during this period. And it's also a reasonably good period for us to kind of reflect at a more deeper level, because Mercury retrograde helps us. Mercury retrograde in Cancer helps us with emotional reset, and new moon basically indicates the beginning, and it kind of ushers this new beginning where we have this opportunity to bring emotions and rational together and have this good reset or psychological rejuvenation and be self-nourished to some extent to move forward. And there has been a lot of calm and chaos, and there is going to be a little bit of a draggy stretch with a lot of retrograde season coming up. Saturn is already retrograde now, Mercury is retrograde, and Mercury goes direct on August 11th or 12th depending on where you're living. And then we'll have Jupiter going retrograde in 2 months or so. So the period is going to be draggy, so it's not going to be as quick as we imagine. So there is a lot of emotional reset, psychological reset, and also some form of spiritual rejuvenation that we all need during this point. So focus on yourself, focus on your own families, and spend some quality time with your families. And without knowing, there could be some form of a support system that emerges from all this. And the mating of Mercury kind of indicates there is this window for us to trust our own intuition, which kind of will be slightly supported by logic, and that slight logic will actually be a lot more adequate to kind of take us forward. And as the moon grows in light, the clarity will also start growing, because somewhere down the line, Mercury is retrograde. There is a lot of unexpected scenarios, especially from a tech point of view. Maybe you are sending emails to someone whom you are connected with, but the emails are not going the way that you want it to go, or it's going to spam. I know one of my friends is sending emails. I added their email address to my contacts, and I've done everything, but still the emails or the newsletters that they send is going to the spam box, which is very, very literal manifestation of Mercury retrograde. So we need to focus on not necessarily focus on finding clarity, because we will find clarity as moon starts growing in light. But I think this is the time for us to be slowly aware of a lot of things that are happening around us, and it might actually be a little helpful in making a lot more informed decisions in the near future. So frustrating moments would be those that where we expect something, but that necessarily is not the reality. But somewhere down the line, we know what went wrong or what needs to be done, and being honest with ourselves, both at a rational level and also emotional level, and that acceptance is very much needed to kind of move forward and to see what is unfolding with much more clarity. And as I mentioned, with moon growing in light, there is an initial period of challenge where the moon is conjunct the south node and also Mars as it enters Virgo. So there will be a little bit of nervous or anxious situations over the next 5 days or so from the new moon, but I think things will start slowly easing up as moon goes past the conjunction of Mars and moon moves into Virgo. Naturally the tendency to kind of find clarity will emerge, and the only thing is that we need a little bit of resilience, and also to kind of focus on inner peace until then, rather than being impulsive or making some decisions in hastiness. So on the other hand, if someone is very close to you, maybe they need your support, their emotional support, but given that the new moon is happening in Pushya Nakshatra, it indicates devotion and nourishment and kind of a motherly care. It is always possible for us to kind of put ourselves in their situation too much, and then kind of relate ourselves with their problem, and that might be a little challenging for us, and we need another separate support system to come out of it. So the wise thing would be is to kind of don't get into the circle, stay outside the circle, be an outsider, but still provide your support to anyone who needs your support. So I'm not saying you should not give support, but it's important for you to kind of not get entangled with the problem itself, and which might eventually lead to your own emotional depletion. So I think that's a little important for us to kind of keep in mind. You can do this with kindness, but also with little bit of rationalism, like staying out of the problem and supporting them, because we need to be stable in order to support someone else. So and on the other hand, if you have been working on some kind of a creative project, or some kind of a personal thing that helps you reconnect with yourself. So we all have a past where something made us happy, or something made us connect emotionally with ourselves at an inner level, and we tend to kind of forget that, and we move on and we don't do that. But now is the right time for us to kind of go back and reconnect, given that Moon and Mercury are getting into this conjunction. So it's a good time to kind of do what makes us happy and what makes us to connect with our own inner self. So that turns out to be kind of a groundwork kind of a thing for us to have this self-reflection, where we start rethinking and reshaping and make changes, not just within our inner environment but also in our external environment. So if you want to kind of you are working in a space and you feel that is getting a little monotonous, so what you can do is just kind of declutter or change or renovate what is around you. Maybe you can just move the table on the other side and keep some kind of a plant nearby to have some good fresh vibes or something like that. So just make very minute changes in your domestic environment, and I think that will make a lot of impact at a psychological level, and it might actually help you do what you want to do with much more speed and clarity, because some things cannot be really explained and these things are indescribable, but only you can feel it at an abstract level when it actually happens, because it happens to me and I experience it very often. So and there are some things, again, these are good past, but there are some difficult past we all have, and that is a situation where we need to see if we require some kind of a support or help or therapy, or if we need to kind of talk to a friend or someone who is close to us, whom we trust, and we can open up. That's a good thing to do during this new moon and also through this fortnight, because now is the right time for self-nourishment. Everything goes back to self-nourishment, and if we begin and if you need help or therapeutic help, it is good to accept, because we all need help at some point. We are all just human beings, and if you accept it, this might be a good time to kind of engage and quickly come out of what you are going through and just leave the baggage behind for you to move forward with more intent. And if therapy doesn't work, or if you don't feel comfortable speaking with someone, what you can do is just take a pen and a paper or a diary and start writing down. Or maybe if you are connecting well with your inner self and if you are able to put your thoughts outside with weight, you can also start typing on your phone, on any note application or Google Docs, whatever is comfortable for you. So these days what I do is whenever I read something, I just go ahead and write with a pen, and it seems to be helping me. And given that we need to kind of rebuild a connection with our inner self at this point, maybe journaling is a very good idea, and it might be a way for release, and which can slowly lead to some form of peace and eventually clarity. And that's very wise to kind of have, because we create a space for ourselves, we release what we don't need, and then we move on with awareness and intent. So as I mentioned, these can actually be spiritual practice as well. Spiritual practice doesn't mean that you need to kind of sit in front of a godly figure or a photograph or something and just do some meditation or something like that. Whatever makes you happy and whatever kind of helps you be in your own space is also considered to be a spiritual activity. And if that particular activity helps you remain grounded, I think that is something that you most certainly need to do. So I think that's it for this new moon. As some of you know, I've launched this I'm co-hosting a podcast with my friend Jolly Knot from United Kingdom, and we have released the episode 3 where we are discussing beyond borders, like cross-cultural astrology and learning. So it's been a very good experience connecting with Jolly and doing this podcast episodes. And on the other hand, the good news is that my 1-year diploma course that I'm teaching under my school, Cosmic Lineage Academy, is currently recognized and approved by the APAI. It's the Association for Professional Astrologers International, and the current chair is astrologer Sharon Knight. It's a very big honor for me, and the course that I've written, primarily because APA is the only organization that I know of which accepts members that have professional qualification from a recognized institution. So it's not that we just pay some money and join there and be part of it and then mention as I am the member of so and so organization. That's not how it works. So becoming a member of APA is actually a prestigious feeling. And so I'm really happy and privileged that my course has been recognized and approved. The first batch of my diploma course, the 1-year diploma course, is really making me happy, because the meet and greet session went very well. Followed by that, the first class on philosophy also went reasonably well, and I know some people expressed how happy they were after the class, and I'm very grateful for all those enrollments and feedback. And for those who have been waiting to join this particular course, and if you have not been able to join the batch 1, I am offering the course at the same price, which is $680 USD. In November. So the course begins on November 11th, 2025, and I have opened the enrollment, so you can feel free to enroll whenever you want. I don't believe in creating urgency, because this is something that I'm doing with a lot of intent. It's not just feeding me, but it's also part of my karma and dharma, because I want to spread and create astrologers as much as I can, and also spread the astrological tradition and lineage that I come from. So this is very important for me, and I'm just kind of leaving it open until the I don't know, but I think there will be 20 to 23 enrollments. So it's basically first come first serve, and the button will be inactive once the spots are filled. So if you want to join, you can join. It's and I would really love to have you, and I'm looking forward to our journey together. And apart from that, I'm also available for personal sessions if you have been thinking of having one with me, and I would be absolutely honored to read your chart. So I think I'm going to be doing this much more often, because I enjoy kind of connecting with you at an authentic level without much of an editing, except that I like some background music, some slow music that helps us concentrate, or meditative effect. But that's not something that I cannot do with this live. But I hope to kind of do more frequent live sessions, at least on a weekly basis. So stay tuned for more content. And one more thing is, I am having this privilege of hosting this Cap Isar's podcast, the newly launched podcast, and I met astrologer Melanie Reinhardt, and the experience of having this conversation with her was so enriching, and I cannot explain it with my words. So, but I really kind of encourage you all to go and check that conversation, not my conversation, but the conversation that Melanie had, not just with herself but also with you and me, in kind of inspiring us to kind of take this road as astrologers. And I send 5 to 6 newsletters a month. It's not limited to astrology. It is also I also have one specific column called Inward Glance, where currently I am discussing Epictetus's discourses. I'm trying to explain a few chapters every with every newsletter, and that is kind of a liberating experience for me. And also it's my own way of giving back. And newsletters will always be free, and I will never charge for that newsletter. But on the other hand, I have some interesting updates coming up, but not immediately. Sometime in September, where I will be launching some subscription-based, experiences for you, for us to have this continuous exchange of astrology. So with that, I will end this live stream, and I really thank you for spending time and watching this. And